Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome to Why Do You Suck at Playing Guitar? Why do you suck at playing any instrument? How about that? No, today we're going to concentrate on guitar. That's enough for one day. We'll work on the other instruments another day. So why do you suck? Well, there's a lot of reasons. Crappy guitar could be one of them. You know, maybe your strings, sit way up here. That could be a really good reason why you suck, because you can't play an inferior instrument. You need something decent. Now, if you can fit a full-size guitar like this Denver that I have, it's a DD44SL for left-handed, DD44S for right-handed. Okay, you can actually go to denver-guitars.com. I think the address is. I'll put the link in the video description. You can check out and see what they have. Their prices are really reasonable, although they're not marked on their website because they're a distributor. They're not a retailer. You click on the little button for dealers and find the nearest dealer near you for Denver guitars. See if your local music store carries them. If they're not in stock, see if they can order them. Okay. I personally, I've been playing for 32 plus years, and I can honestly tell you that if you're a beginner, good way to go. Okay. If you can fit this guitar. They do have other sizes of guitars. They got a smaller guitar, which is a folk guitar. They've got a 3/4 size guitar. If things happen where I can try out their other guitars, then we'll go through them and I'll give you my opinion. But this one, yeah, I'm a full-size guitar player and I need a full-size guitar, but I can play on smaller ones too, very efficiently. I really think that this is a good guitar for 140 bucks, because that's what it sells for, Canadian dollars. Okay, and any beginner will have no problems playing this thing. Okay, if it is the fit for you. That's the thing. Your guitar may be too big for you, it may be too small for you. That is a problem. Even in electrics, you can have, like, I've got my electric here. I actually have two of them. Okay, this is my Cort. This is my primary electric. Okay, and I play it like this, sitting down. Okay, now standing up, I'm about the same position pretty much. I'm not like an ape, like, that's the wrong position to try and play in, because you're not going to be able to play properly if you're an ape, okay? My guitar's actually a little out of tune right now. Not bad. So, but this Cort is an awesome little rig for under 400 bucks new. Okay, so 140 bucks, under 400 bucks. Little surprise for those of you who haven't seen my video yet. Wow, this is different. Kevy got a right-handed guitar too. Yay! Okay, now that's pretty much about the same, right? Now I do kind of suck on the right-handed, but I do have a good rhythm thing going here. I gotta learn a little bit more control on the chording and stuff, get a little bit better with my picking, and I'll be just as good in no time. Okay, I just got to put in the time. And I gotta break my fingers in for right-handed because I primarily play left, so I have no callus really on my left hand yet. All my callus is on my right hand. So if I can do this, I mean, you should be able to play guitar, right? No, not necessarily. Okay? But I play full adult-sized guitars. I can play smaller ones too, and play them really well, because I can play these fine. Okay? Why else would you suck? Well, if you do have a good guitar, and it does have a nice, you know, low action to it for string heights and whatnot, and all that's good, and you got good frets on your guitar. Don't buy any guitars, by the way, that have brass frets. You'll wear the damn frets out in less than 10 hours. Trust me, go watch my rant review on the J. Tercer guitars. Don't buy them video. You'll find out a lot of information, and please stay away from them. They're garbage. Okay? But for the same amount of money, this is the same amount of money as the Tercer I had. The Tercer was actually $160. I got it for $140. A little bit of a story. This is brand new, $140. Now I didn't pay that. I paid 50 bucks. I got it used on Kijiji, and I was told it was only used a couple times. And I was like, okay, whatever. I never believe any of those stories. But in this case, it turned out to be true. So the thing is it wasn't just that. It's I needed a make-do guitar. Because of losing out on the Tercer, I didn't get a refund. Music stores don't give you refunds. So I got an in-store credit, which ended up with an Ibanez phaser pedal, which sucks unless you add distortion with it, and then you can actually hear it come to life. But otherwise, it's garbage on its own, and I gotta get a better one. Anyhow, so I thought, you know what? If it's worth $140 new, it's worth 50 bucks to me as a used guitar. I don't care if it's only played once. I don't care if it wasn't even out of the wrapper. It's used. It's from somebody else. It's not from a store. It's still used, regardless. So I'm only going to pay half or less. And in this case, I paid less because I was taking a huge chance on the frets. And I wanted to get this while I had the money. And I still wouldn't have paid, even if I knew about the frets, I still wouldn't have paid more than the 50 bucks. I needed a makeshift guitar just until after Christmas when I can put money aside because I'm planning on buying, hopefully, I want it, doesn't mean I'm going to get it, but I'm hopefully planning on getting a Martin guitar, an acoustic, okay? And then after that, I'll save up eventually for by next fall maybe, I'll get another Gibson Les Paul, something, okay? Whatever. I'm working on things. I want back all my goodies I lost. But I want back better goodies. And I used to own Martins and Gibsons and Epiphones and Arias and Fenders and pretty much you name it. I've either owned it or played on it, okay? And so I deserve good high-end stuff, you know, if I can afford the high-end. I can't afford a $10,000 12-string Martin anymore. I did have one, but it went bye-byes too. Life happens, and that's the thing. And my finances aren't what they used to be years ago, okay? So I'm much poorer nowadays. So I gotta save, I gotta work my butt off, I gotta, you know, try every way I can to make money to afford my goodies, okay? So, that's just the way it goes. So enough about that horse stuff. Let's get on with why you suck at playing guitar. You're not tuning it right, could be another issue. If you're not tuning your guitar properly, it's going to fall out of tune quick. How do you tune your guitar properly? Well, one thing that I learned myself, wow, I can learn new things, apparently. Scott Groves of Groovy Tunes, whatever he calls himself on YouTube. Just look up Scott Groves, okay? Or Scott Grove, sorry. Anyway, you'll find him. He's cool. He's down to earth. He's my kind of guy. I love him. Love his videos. One thing that he said about tuning guitars is we're all frickin' idiots. No matter how long we've been playing, we're tuning our guitars wrong. And I'm like, what? I'm using a tuner, you know, or I'm doing 5th fret tuning. Okay? He says never to harmonically tune, but I still do it. I don't care. Okay, but tuning properly. Do this. Keep an eye on the needle and make sure that it says E. Not E flat, not E sharp, E. And make sure your needle stays in the middle. If it doesn't, then tune it really gently. Go to the next one, your A. Now if you have to go backwards, then dial it down and bring it up. That's another important thing. So don't just pluck it and wait for it, because it's gonna stop. You have to keep that string vibrating at a proper speed, okay? So tune how you're gonna play, big thing. And go down and then bring it up. If you're already flat, flatten it out more, bring it up. Okay? If you're sharp, flatten it out, bring it up to where you need it to be on proper pitch, okay, with each string that you need to tune to, okay? Very important. He gets all the credit for this one. He did a great job, because you know what? He's right. We're all friggin' idiots. We've all been tuning our guitars wrong. That's why our guitars are falling out of tune a lot, that you'll find, is because if you don't take it down and then bring it up, you have no tension. The keys have to be able to lock. So when you're playing, the string's not slipping. If there's no tension because you backed it off to tune it, because you were running sharp and you just backed it off to get it tuned, okay, you didn't overdrop it and then bring it up, well then what happens is your tuners are slack, right? And you're going to fall out of tune pretty quick. So, lesson learned, passed on to you guys now too. If you haven't seen Scott Grove's video on that, check him out, man. He's telling you, he guaranteed we're all tuning our guitars wrong, and he was right, okay? So, if you're not tuning right, it could make you sound like you're crap. Because, just as an example, here's a D, right? Sounds like crap, doesn't it? How close am I? Wow, I'm up. There we go, perfect. Well, perfect as it gets. And you'll never be 100% guaranteed perfect in tune, ever. Just doesn't happen. It's kind of like nothing's built perfect. So, if you're not tuned right, you sound like crap, that's your problem too, could be. Okay? Other problems could be, you got no rhythm. You need rhythm, okay? If you got no rhythm, you got no playing. If you've got rhythm, but you're having a hard time with your chord changing, well guess what? You need to work on your chord changing, obviously. So you need to put in the time. If you don't put into this instrument, you're not getting out of it, flat out, okay? And, you know, if you're a noob, brand new, you don't even have calluses yet, take 1 month at 10 minutes a day, every single day, and by the time you're done that month, you will have enough callus on your fingers that you'll be able to play the chords without it hurting anymore. You will get pain when you play. Now, if you want to have less pain, okay, don't learn chords first, okay? That's the idiot move, all right? I teach, well, I got lessons, so you can play whichever ones you want, but what you should be doing is this first. See, a lot of the rhythms you're going to do are confined in a small space of movement of your wrist, okay? To get into the swinging stuff, that's getting a little fancy and funky and really getting into it, and you're going to need that arm and your wrist at the same time. But a lot of the stuff you're going to do is confined. So if you can learn this, and the patterns are up there, you can learn these and you can master all these patterns. Okay, these are all ones I've uploaded. If you can master these, you will have a much easier time because your fingers are going to be stretched, okay, which really helps a lot doing chords, okay? You need to be able to stretch your fingers. You're going to have power and muscle already in your fingers, all right, from doing all of this, which is going to help you to be able to form your chords better. It's going to build the callus up slow and with less pain, okay, so which is why you need to take a month at 10 minutes each time, learn this stuff. If you want to be the dumb bum and start with chords first, you're going to have a lot more pain involved. Whether you're playing electric or acoustic, there's going to be pain in your fingers because they're going from raw to building callus. They get tender and they burn. It does hurt, okay? You know, and you can't cheat with bandage. You have to build the callus. You also have to have short fingernails because that's another thing that could be screwing you over. If your fingernails are too long, you're going to be running into strings. If you're pulling down on the strings when you're trying to do a chord, that is also going to make you sound like crap. Okay? Another bad thing that can happen. That's why you suck. Okay? I'm helping my son to play guitar as much as we can get together, and that's one of the nasty habits he has is pulling down on the strings. And I'm trying to teach him, no, you got to keep it up, right? But you know what? The kid's a hell of a drum player, okay? And he's going to be a great guitar player too. I know he will, okay? So, and I'm not saying that just because he's my kid. I actually believe in him. I know he can do this, all right? I know the potential is there. He can do it. It's applying, and that's all you have to do is apply yourself. Once you got the callus, take her from 10 minutes to a half an hour to an hour every single day. You know, because the more time you spend, the faster you're going to be able to get things accomplished. Like chord changing, we all struggle with it. Okay? And to change chords, you can just sit here without even strumming and learn chord changing. Okay, and whatever chords you know, practice them in all different types of orders. Because you're not going to be just playing, you know, G, C, D, G, C, D. Well, you might in some songs, but, you know, there's a lot of songs in G, C, D, right? So you could be going G, 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 still 3 chords, still J, C, D, but all different orders, and you got a rhythm to worry about, right? So you got to work on the rhythms, right? So by doing this, you can practice just up and down here. Technically it's, but why not? You know, the one thing too is you got to concentrate on what's going on here to learn the rhythms. Don't worry so much. If you're doing a chord, worry about this, getting the strumming in the right spots. Either you're going to work with the proper 3 strings for a D, or you're going to do 4-string D, because the note above that's opened, okay, is a D. And it sounds much better when it's rounded out. So concentrate on 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Take it slow, right? But then you want to switch. shaky, and that's fine. You're okay. You build up speed, okay? You build up changing, all right? You gotta take it slow, but not dog slow, okay? You gotta put the effort in. You've gotta be willing to, okay, start out slow and count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Or count it out this way. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. That's where you want to start again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Depending on how you're doing things, right? But then eventually over time you can build up your speed as you're accurate with your strumming. So then you can go. You can build it up and build it up and build it up. You're going to screw up too. Okay, even I do the odd time, right? The thing is, you will eventually get it down. Boom, 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 every single time. But you got to put in the time. 10 minutes a day for the rest of your life, take you maybe 20 years. Okay, an hour a day for 6 months, you just shaved a lot of years off. Okay, you gotta realistically, a little explosive there. Realistically though, if you spend an hour a day on your guitar, okay, even if you divide the hour into 2 half-hour sessions, which you should be able to pull off, anybody should be able to, your lives aren't that busy, okay, but even a half an hour twice a day gives you an hour a day in, and you practice what you've learned and get proficient at it, okay, then move on to the next set of chords or the next chord, next type of rhythm, whatever, okay. Forget about trying to learn AC/DC, Rat, and all those other groups out there. Learn to play the darn guitar first, okay? Then learn that stuff, okay, if that's what you still want to do later. But you need to learn to play this first. You need to learn to do this. You got to learn to walk before you can run, okay? You got to learn to crawl before you can walk, okay? And that's just the way it goes, and that's life. Okay, and you can apply that to every single instrument. Now, if you've gone through every single possibility, because I know I've missed probably 100 other reasons why you suck, okay, presently at guitar, but it could be just you're not made for guitar. It is possible, right? But don't give up. Take 6 months, but do 10 minutes a day the first month, get the callus built up. Then take 6 months, okay, so total 7, and really put an effort into this. Really honestly give it a good honest go. And bust your butt every single day, no breaks, every single day, an hour a day for 6 months straight. If you still can't play this thing really well within 6 months, switch to the opposite hand, okay? Maybe you should not be playing right-handed, maybe you should be playing left. Or if you started out left, maybe you should be playing right. Just because you're left-handed dominant doesn't mean you're a left-handed guitar player. I'm left-handed dominant and I'm doing both, okay? So that just proves right there, left-handed dominant, I can still go right-handed. And I know I will do right-handed as well as, if not probably better actually, because I've been finding out soloing, I think I'll be able to do it better on the right-handed. Anyway, the point is, if you can't do it the one way, try the other way. But you can't just flip your strings to do this, okay? You have to actually buy a proper guitar, otherwise you're going to wreck your guitar and it won't even tune right when you try to switch it, because your nut here is cut, in my case, for left. My nut on my Yamaha is cut for right-handed because it's a right-handed guitar. My saddle is set up for left-handed because of the angle and everything else. To do a full conversion on this guitar even, it ain't worth the money. It's just cheaper to buy another one that's right-handed or left-handed, whichever way you need to switch over to try next. That's the way to do it, okay? And then give that one, because now you're breaking in your other fingers again that you never used, so you got to break them in. Excuse me, yawning. You got to break them in, okay? So another way you might be able to hopefully solve this without even having to worry about switching is when you go into a music store, first get yourself properly sized up. Don't let the guy stand there and say, "No, does it feel comfortable?" Frig, I don't know. I never held one before. You tell me. How am I supposed to be holding this? How's my arm supposed to be? Okay? If the guy is not talking to you about that stuff, he's a moron. Ask for another staff member that has a brain cell, okay, about fitting in a guitar properly. Because not all these guys do, okay? So, anyway, you got to be properly fit to a guitar, or you ain't going to be able to play it right. Anyhow, so what you do, you get the guitar, you get one that's sized up. Okay, now we got to size at least, right? So, mute the strings. Just put your hand over so it just does this. Okay, and then just ask for a pick, just a soft one. I play with 38s and 46s, mainly, okay? Get them to show you how to hold the pick, okay, and hold it properly. And hold it tight, but not too tight, but, you know, not too loose either. Just go up and down, just like this. Just scratch it across the strings up and down. And then try, because it's up and down and up and down and down, down, down. Up and down and up and down and up and... Okay, you get the idea? So, down or down, up, down, up, down, up, down, 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 down. Okay? Try a few different things like that and see how comfortable that feels with the whole swinging action. And then try it this way. Okay? See if that feels good. Then, without even having to grab another guitar, flip it the opposite way. Because you don't need to grab another guitar for this. Now, does that feel good? Seems to. Well, maybe we might need something a little smaller, maybe, you know, whatever. But anyways, if it still feels good this way. Now I'm a little klutzy right-handed, right? Because I'm still learning myself, right? For right-handed. But if it feels better doing it one way than the other, and you're holding it and the comfort is there better one way than the other, that's more than likely what guitar you should be playing, okay? It doesn't matter what dominant your hand is. I've already proven it because I can play left and right-handed, okay? And I'm left-handed dominant. I'm not ambidextrous, okay? And some things I guess I probably am, but I'm mainly dominant left-handed. So when I go and I take my right-handed guitar out, if I grab this thing, you know, well, here's another ball game. Okay. Okay, that's not too bad. So, then we climb back over. Oh. And even with an electric, you still got to be sized up. Okay, and there's different sizes of electrics. You still have to be properly sized up. That doesn't make sense. But anyway, thing is, so easier time, isn't it? Now, one thing you'll notice about an electric is your arm is basically on the top here, right? It's kind of like the same as the acoustic, except the acoustic you're out more like this, right? When you're standing up and playing too, it's very important that you're comfy, right? But you don't want to be aped. You don't want to hold it like an ape, like, okay? It's just not cool. It's also going to cause you a lot of problems with your wrists and carpal tunnel problems and everything else if you're going to play like an ape, you know? I don't even know how people play like that. Honestly, I don't. It may sort of look cool on stage, but nope, not for me. So, those are a lot of the reasons why you suck. And it's up to you to solve them, if you can. If you can't solve them by trying all of these ideas, it may be necessary to switch to a different hand, but if not, well, then that's fine. But you know what, make sure you got a decent guitar. Make sure the action is set as low as possible so that it's playable without buzzing the frets, because you need to be able to not have to press too hard on the strings to be able to form chords. Otherwise it's like kind of stupid. So you need a better quality guitar in that aspect. But I mean, this $140 Denver, I mean, you know what? I was buying $350, $400, $500 Yamahas to get this kind of nice performance, you know, back in the day. These things didn't exist back then, okay? Now we've got a $140 guitar sitting here in this brand that I really think kicks butt. It's really nice, right? So you don't have to actually go out and spend 350 bucks on a Yami, even though that $350 Yami is actually considered middle of the road equipment. Okay, so you got beginner, middle of the road, and professional. Okay, that's how it goes. When it comes to the pro line stuff, whew, can you ever get expensive? All right. Anyhow, so that doesn't mean there's that this is the end all to be all brand. Okay, for the price and to get you started. There are other brands out there that are probably equally as good. Maybe they're a couple of dollars more. Maybe they're a couple of dollars less. You know, maybe you don't like this style of guitar, you want a cutaway. Well, hey, find yourself a cutaway guitar. But you know what? Your tones are going to change too. You know, between this kind of a body style and a cutaway. A cutaway is going to have less bass, more highs. That's the way it goes. You know, you're changing and altering frequencies in the boxes. Anyway, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll do the very best I can to help you guys any way I can. Check out my guitar lesson videos. Check out Scotty Groves. Check out all the other guys out there teaching guitar, you know, and learn what you can from all of us, you know, and that's the thing. And if you still suck, well, you still suck. But at least if you give it an honest go, you'll know. But you got to be honest about it. You really do. An hour a day, every single day, will make a difference. But also remember, not everybody is meant to be a guitar player. Okay? You may be one of them. Or you may not be. Maybe you are meant to be a guitar player. Maybe you're going to be a mediocre one. Maybe you're going to be a professional. We don't know that. You don't know that until you've given it a good, honest go. And it's very important that you do that. So don't give up too easily. You know, don't let it defeat you. Guitar is not an easy instrument to learn. You know, none of the instruments are really that easy to learn. Okay, we make it look easy because we've been at it for a long time. But even us, myself included, I really struggled, guys. I really did in the beginning. And there were a lot of times I wanted to quit, even though I wanted it so bad. It was at a point a couple times where I just, you know, at my worst time, that's when my teacher gave me the choice, saying, look, you told me why you wanted to play. You said you had this desire and this goal in mind and blah, blah, blah. Now, put up or shut up. You know, one way or another, stop wasting my time if you're not going to do anything with this, okay? And if you didn't mean it. So if you meant what you said, then prove it, okay? And so I had to take that blasting that I got from him, and it made me cry. It did, because the conversation actually went a little harsher than that. Put me in tears, but then I thought about it, and then I just picked up my guitar and said, you know what? I don't care. I'm doing this. I'm gonna do it, okay? And I'm still playing today, and I'm learning to teach myself right-handed because I want to be with the elite, those who can play both ways without any issues, and very few can do it. So that's kind of one of my other goals in life, okay? And piano now as well is something I want to do. Plus I got my drum machine built in the piano, and I'm going to actually be buying a couple more keyboards too, and God knows where I'm going to fit them in here, but trust me, I'll find room. Anyways, so once again, if you got questions, feel free to ask. I'll do everything I can to answer them. and to help you guys out any way I possibly can. And we'll see you in the next vid. Thanks for watching.